Hey you guys, thanks for tuning in with Coach Kizzy of Majestic Life Solutions. So we're gonna so we all gonna be talking about what I said. I said we were gonna talk about it, right? So understanding your trauma, and I gave you four questions. So we're gonna go back on that because I said I was gonna do both of them at the same time. I was gonna do the understanding the trauma, and then I was gonna do the drug addiction. But we're gonna wait to do a drug addiction. We're gonna do one at a time, okay? Or do you think we should do the drug addiction? Oh, I don't know. Um, no, we're gonna do trauma. We're gonna do trauma. So understanding your trauma. So I put down the question. So you understanding your trauma. Number one, I want you to actually meditate, write it down, or whatever you want to do with it. Okay. I want you to actually start seeking. Self help. This right here is for self help. Self help is basically you got to start acknowledging that I do have trauma. And then the second one, well, this one be first, I'm gonna do it first. First is a why. Why? Because why can be why am I holding on to trauma? Why is that a big impact in my life right now? So therefore, you got to acknowledge it, understand it, understand it, and so understand your trauma. So I want you to think about the why. Why am I holding on to trauma? Because trauma is not going to lead you nowhere, but in the same state of mind that you've been in. So you want to actually change your mindset. So when you start changing your mindset, you got to ask yourself, why am I stuck in this trauma? Excuse me. Why I'm stuck in this trauma? So understanding trauma. Number one, can you describe a event or experience that you consider traumatic? So you have to ask yourself, what am I holding in? What am I holding in? Is it something that I'm holding in because it's something that's keeping me stuck in one spot? So you have to create something, not create something, not take that back. Take that back. You don't have to create something. You have to actually start acknowledging what do I consider trauma? What do I consider trauma? Everything that I've been through in life is trauma. What is the biggest? That's the biggest, darkest secret. Basically, is what you're holding on to that you're not gonna let go. But you have to release that, or you're gonna be stuck at the red light. Okay. Number two, how did this experience impact your life at this time? So that's where you got to. That's where you have to start saying, you know what? I'm stuck. You have to acknowledge that I'm stuck. I don't know how to love properly. I don't know how to do this properly because I'm stuck. It's stuck in my mind of all this traumatic stuff that's been happening to me in my life. That's why you have to talk about it. That's why you have to release it. You have to start understanding why are you holding on to it. What emotions do you associate with this trauma? What emotions? Like when you start seeing triggers, basically, say you start seeing triggers. What emotions that that you see that associate with it, or either basically say this: if it's somebody around you that always is stored negative Nancy in your brain, it's gonna bring your trauma back. It brings your emotional state of mind back. So you have to let go of some things that's holding your trauma in. You have to let go. So if you don't let go, then you're gonna still be stuck at the red light. Number four, how do you think this trauma has shaped your beliefs about yourself and the world? Oh, think about it. Think about it. Let me say it one more time for you. Number four, how do you think this trauma has shaped your beliefs about yourself and the world? Sometimes you can be in and out of a relationship, and your trauma can put you at a mindset of what? Low self esteem or not valuing yourself. Don't have much confidence in yourself. So when you start thinking outside the box, you got to think outside the box and not let no negative Nancy get in your head to hold that trauma in. You have to start valuing yourself and put more into yourself. And once you start putting more into yourself, then your beliefs of yourself will change. That's why I say do your affirmations every day and store it in your mind that this is what I want out of my life. This is what I believe that I'm successful. I believe I am beautiful. I believe that I don't have a low self-esteem. You have to actually value yourself, put more into yourself and start thinking about what you believe in it about yourself. You have to be the person to believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then who else? Because you're gonna still have negative Nancy in your ear. You don't want negative Nancy in your ear. You want negative Nancy gone. Even if it's your mom or your dad, you have to exit the building. Because if that's holding you to trauma, you have to release that. You have to tell them, well, I love you, but I have to go my own separate way. Until you're able to change. And this is what's been hurting me all these years. Or this what's been holding me back from succeeding what I need to succeed in my life. So you have to believe in yourself. Okay? Your current impact. Your current impact. In what way do you feel the trauma continue to affect you today? So that's the same thing that I just said, basically. The same thing that I just said. So whatever's holding you back in life, that's gonna keep your trauma there. So if that's gonna keep your trauma there, you have to exit, regardless if it hurts or not. You have to start believing in yourself. You have to start believing in yourself. So when you start believing in yourself, everything will be more clear to you because you'll start believing in yourself. You'll put more into yourself and have to be and say this. You wouldn't have to be a people pleaser. You won't worry about what's going on around you. That will give you an opportunity to release your trauma. Because if something holding you back, whatever, regardless of what's holding you back, if that's holding you back, then you have to let that go. You have to let that go. You have to decide on your own of that. So this isn't a current impact. Are there specific triggers that remind you of your trauma? And how do you respond to them? How do you respond to them? That's just like if your mom or your dad tell you you're not gonna never be nothing, because I done heard this before. You're not gonna never be nothing. You're gonna be just like your daddy, or you're gonna be just like you know what I'm saying? That's trauma. Those are trauma words that stores in your brain, and you will never get over that because you hurt because this is your mom or this is your dad telling you this. It hurts in your heart, right? It hurts in your heart. So this reminds you of the trauma. If they'd have told you that as a kid, man, you gonna grow up to be nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So if they'd have told you that before and they still telling you that as an adult, I don't care if you own drugs or you selling drugs or you doing whatever you're doing in your life that is not pleasing to them. They're gonna keep the trauma going. They're gonna keep the trauma going. So it's time for you to release and embrace who you are. So with When I say respond to them, when I say respond, how do you respond? You don't, because you don't want to disrespect or be disobedient to your parents. You just move your separate ways, and you can be honest with them and tell them, look, I got to move around. I got to move around because you the one that's holding this trauma that's in the inside of me. So when you start opening up and being who your authentic self and start releasing out your mouth about these are your boundaries. It doesn't matter about your parent if it's your parents or not. You got to set boundaries with your parents. Just take it back. Not take it back. But if you're an adult, if a kid watch this, don't do that. Don't be trying to tell them what you can do. But when you're an adult, you got to set boundaries with your parents too. I don't care if they brought you in the world, but you got to set boundaries because parents can overcross your boundaries. You have to set boundaries. How has your trauma influenced your relationship with others? It's a trauma is a big impact. When you hold your trauma in, you hurt. You hurt people. So how can you have relationships with others and you still holding on to trauma? Hurt people. So just like how your mom and dad say those mean words to you, hurt people. You're gonna say them mean words to either your partner, friendships, relationships, family ships, whatever it is, situationships. I don't care what a relationship it is. It's others. You're gonna hurt them by saying mean words to them because your trauma has not been taken care of. So you're gonna hold this in. That's why you have to separate yourself from anything that's triggering your trauma. What coping thing what coping mechanism have you developed in response to trauma? What have you meditated, just say, what have you meditated on in saying basically, what can I do, to heal this trauma? You got to meditate on it and actually understand what you want and not what people want, because people can drive you to go rob a bank. That's why you can't people please, because if you people please, you find yourself in situations that you can't get out of. You understand what I'm saying? You'll find yourself in situations that you can't get out of. So don't people please. Don't always have to be a center of attention or you want a crowd around you. Be who you are. If you have to walk this earth by yourself, walk it. Walk it. But you got to understand you and what's holding you back in life. Okay? Healing and growth. What does healing from this trauma looks like for you? For me, that I know that life is not about drama. Life is not about drama, and life is always being accountable for whatever mistakes, whatever sins you have made. You understand what I'm saying? You have to be accountable. This release your trauma when you can say that, yeah, I have been hurt. I have been this. But this releases trauma. So you have to understand what your trauma looks like. My heart been broken. It's been stumped on. I've been in hell and came back. You understand? So you got to know what your trauma looks like. And that's part of your healing growth. What steps have you taken so far towards healing? What steps have you taken? Me, talking to self. I get in a book of God, the book of life, and start understanding the book of life. Asked him to heal this heart, to get me through with a broken heart. And that's what take care of my trauma. That's how I release my trauma. Number three, are there any resources or support system you have found helpful? Hmm? I have. I seek him, the kingdom. I seek the kingdom. He wakes me up every morning. And my he does. He wakes me up every morning. I give him praises every morning. Even when I'm making my coffee, I give him praises. So he can start understanding who I am, who I truly am. Because we have to open up to the most high God. He knows us. He knows us. But you still have to speak it out your mouth and let him know who you are. And what problems, what trauma that you're holding in that you won't tell nobody. And once you start realizing and come to realization of everything that you've been, that's what's been holding you back in life, then you start understanding that this is what I need to do. Where I'm at, number four. What would you like to achieve in your healing journey? What would you like to achieve in your healing journey? This what heals me. Expiring, giving inspirational messages, teaching people that life is hard, but we make life be lifing. We make life be lifing because we fall through the wrong footsteps, or we make our own footsteps and we go down the wrong path. So that's why our life be lifing. And my achievements is building my brand, building my community. Those are my achievements. So you have to acknowledge everything that you do in your journey. Self reflection and empowerment. What struggles have you discovered in yourself as a result of your experiences? Say it one more time. I mean, did I say struggles? My bad. What strengths have you discovered in yourself as a result of your experiences? I done came a long way. I'll just tell you that. So I want you to actually answer these questions. I do. Actually want you to answer these questions. So number one was this is self-reflection and empowerment. Number one is what strengths have you discovered in yourself as a result of your experiences? Number two, how do you um how do you envision your life once you have processed this trauma? How? Have you set a goal? Setting some goals and want to achieve some goals and not be stuck. Because trauma leaves you stuck. You don't want to be stuck. It's a lot of things that we talk about, but we don't talk about our trauma. We don't talk about what's holding us back in life. So You just gotta know. Just set some goals. Set some goals, okay? But you have to answer 'em. Number three, what new beliefs or narratives would you like to adapt yourself? So you ask yourself this. You ask yourself this. Number four, how can you practice self compassion as you navigate your healing journey? Say it one more time. How can you practice self compassion as you navigate your healing journey? So you have to know how to navigate taking care of your trauma, healing. You got to heal that trauma. You got to heal that trauma. Once you start healing that trauma, you'll start being able to move forward in life. Just like I said, soak yourself in prayer. Soak yourself in prayer. And if you don't want to talk to nobody, if you don't want to speak it out, write it down. Put it in your Bible. If you don't have a Bible, go get you one. Go get you one and put it in the inside of there. God can see it. He can hear it. He know what it says. Just like he know what the book of life says. So therefore, if you put it in the book of life, that's your prayer. Okay? So that's it for this one right here. And then tomorrow, oh, oh. Well, tomorrow we're gonna do future. We're gonna do just everything that I put in this book. Okay. So tomorrow we're gonna do future focus, closing reflection, important consideration. Then we're gonna start drug addiction, replacing drug addictions with a lifetime goal. Then we're gonna start talking about living so living sober or ready for the real. Yeah, living sober, basically living sober and getting ready for the real world. How would you live sober in the real world? You know. So this is what we're gonna be talking about this week. We're gonna be talking about this week. This week we're gonna talk about what I just told you. wait, wait, for real. I didn't mean to say it like that, but I didn't want to go back over and flip these pages. But what I told you, that's what we, that's what we're gonna be talking about, and then also I'm gonna be talking about my storm. You know how what gave me the strength and kept my faith in the storm. Okay, so we're gonna talk about all this stuff. Okay, so tomorrow, tomorrow is another how I kept my faith in the storm and everything that I did. The first one was what today was what asking God to be my Lord and Savior. And my heart is open to you to receive you as my Lord and Savior. That was my first one, and tomorrow is gonna be different. And then tomorrow is gonna be future focus, closing on reflection and important considerations. Okay, so if there nobody's